Let's talk about being a baby SD.
Encouragement and confidence goes a long way in this industry. So
I was definitely on autopilot. My heart wasn't really in it.
So it's very important, ladies. It is.
That's where I was kind of falling short.
I feel like I've really learned a lot about who my friends are.
Welcome to the Bushwaxing Boutique's YouTube channel. In these videos, we will explore concepts such as pay in the industry, what it actually takes to make it as an esthetician, and our journeys up to this point. We're holding nothing back in the hopes of inspiring you to chase your dreams and create a career and a life that you love. We're the Bush Babes. Now let's dive in.
Hi, and welcome to the Bushwaxing Boutique channel. My name is Cameron, and I am an esthetician here at the Bushwaxing Boutique.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica. I'm also a wax specialist at the Bushwaxing Boutique.
hi, I'm Kayla, and I'm a wax specialist here at the Bushwaxing Boutique as well.
Well, I wanted to get into it with you guys today a little bit. Let's talk about being a baby SD, because I feel like we're all in different journeys of our aesthetics right now, and I feel like we can give some really good insight to so many estheticians because we have so many different heights of experience. So I have about 1 year, just a little over 1 year experience in aesthetics. I'm also a business owner, so I feel like I have a little bit of extra oomph behind that 1.5 years, but 1.5 years front now. Thank you.
I have 5 years experience, so I was starting off at Massage Envy my first year, didn't last even a year. Then I moved to a family business, worked there for 4 years, and I've been a year in here at the Bush. So
Yeah, I have 3.5 years of experience. My start was so interesting because it was during COVID, so it was definitely different than girls going into school now. But I worked at med spa, I had my own at-home spa, and then I started at the Bush. I did a bunch of different things, so the journey looks so different for everybody.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So what do you guys have for advice? Like, what would be, whenever I walked in here for my first little interview, what was like something that you wish you could go back and tell me or tell little you?
Take pictures, document your journey.
Yeah.
I would say document your journey because it's really cool and empowering and inspiring to look back at where you were. I think encouragement and confidence goes a long way in this industry, so I think that's what that can provide for you when you are not making the money you don't want to make, when you feel like you're about to throw in the towel, when it's just like nothing's working. When you look back at where you were, you know, the next day is going to come. So you just like have to get yourself to look back at little you and be like, she wouldn't quit. So that's what I would say. That's just off the tip of my head.
Yeah.
I think going like along with that is holding yourself accountable. For me, like I want to say there was a period of time where I was kind of like at the mercy of the staff I was working with and the people I was working with. And I was kind of on my own, but I was definitely on autopilot. My heart wasn't really in it. And I didn't have people who had the same like drive, like pushing me. So I had to push myself, and that's where I was kind of falling short. So it's just realizing like there's going to be some days where maybe like whomever you're working with or working under, hopefully you're on your own. You need to hold yourself accountable, and even on the days you just don't feel like coming in, you have to push yourself, and you can't wait for that motivation to be there to start. But you have to just, think to yourself, how bad do you really want it? And there are going to be those days where you're like, damn, I'm not bringing that much money in, or things are going wrong. Like business has its highs and lows. So I think really just holding yourself accountable and asking yourself like, am I really doing the best I can? And am I really like showing up for myself, my clients? I think that's key.
Yeah, I agree with that. And kind of going off of that is like when you're showing up like the best way you can for yourself and your clients, it's super important to surround yourself with people that believe in you and your business too. Because I know me, like starting out this first year, I feel like I've really learned a lot about who my friends are in this world, and like especially because they like this is an unconventional way of going about your career, and being a business owner and being a woman business owner, people are gonna look at you weird about that.
Yeah.
And so like having important people in your life, I wish I would have like found that out a lot sooner before I started like going into my aesthetics journey, because whenever I really like zeroed in and found that like tribe, those people that really, really care, like my coworkers, I'm so blessed to have so many great coworkers that I feel like really support me, and my friends and my mom and like so many of these wonderful people. And I think it's just like really honing in on those relationships that are going to support you so they can fill your cup as well. Yeah. So always like value your relationships outside of the treatment room too. It's very important, ladies. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also just like be patient with yourself. Like you're not going to be an expert your first year in, maybe not even 2 or 3 years in, and that's okay. And it's not a competition. Don't compare yourself to other people who have been in the field longer or maybe who have progressed a little faster. It ultimately comes down to your journey and you being the best esthetician you can be. So what do you guys think has been more challenging for each of you?
Gosh, I think for me in my first year is like one of the hardest things for me has been like creating that boundary for myself. And I think a lot of estheticians go into this job because we are empaths and we like dealing with people's emotions. We like to comfort people. We usually have good bedside manner. I feel like a lot of estheticians thought about being a nurse or a teacher as well. Like it's very much in that same realm. Yeah. And so I pride myself in it so much and I love it so much. But I mean, like you have clients sometimes and they are just going through like some of the hardest things you've ever heard come out of someone's mouth, and or you're going through something super hard and you want to show up as a comfort and like you want to be a reliable source of comfort to them. And so like being able to separate and like create that boundary for myself where it's still healthy for me, the esthetician, and still healthy for my client, that they're getting what they need out of their relationship that we have, and I'm still able to get what I need at the end of the day. So it's still a journey I'm learning, but that has definitely been like the most challenging thing for me. It's very much like you have to be open to giving your emotions and open to receiving a lot of emotions. Pretty much every day. And even if you're not like in the treatment room, I feel like I tell people I'm an esthetician and they start telling me about their whole history with their skin and all these things, and I feel like I know so much about so many people's skin and just their lives, and I love it, but it's definitely like learning to separate
for sure
in a healthy way.
Yeah. I would say one of the most challenging things, especially in the first few years, was building a career for myself and believing that it can actually work. Because when we worked together, we were commission-based, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And so that was completely new for me. I had only always been a W-2 worker, so that reliable check is what I was used to. And with that, sometimes you don't have to put as much effort, or at least I didn't in my younger years. It was just kind of like, show up, do what you're supposed to do. But you paid for this license, you paid for school, your butt is on the line for, whatever you choose to do. If you choose to slack off, you'll see that at the end of the week. Yes. And if you put the effort in, you'll see that at the end of the week. So I think realizing that it's kind of like entrepreneurial. So like not completely entrepreneurial, you're not completely everything's on you. Right. But it's a step towards that where it's not quite a W-2 and not quite an entrepreneur, but it's still on you to take home what you take home. And that was very new for me. So just talking about that with family and them wanting you to take the safe route and just be a W-2, be a 9-to-5 worker, like get the insurance, just be safe, and just going completely against that and creating this life for yourself and believing that it can actually work, and sometimes not knowing if it can work, but still going for it anyway. So having that faith in the first few years was a bit hard. And then adding COVID with that, so it was pretty tough, but it does work out if you are a strategic planner, if you have faith, and if you just take consistent action. Those are like my recipes for success. That's what I like created.
Right.
What about you?
Oh girl, how long do you have?
Seriously.
I think just learning not to tolerate toxicity, like, because whether that's like whether that was me putting unrealistic standards on myself and being like kind of toxic towards myself, or dealing with like toxic behaviors from like clients and mostly just other staff members or team members, just learning like not to put up with a unhealthy environment was like something that really stuck with me. If you are working somewhere, whether that's on your own or under someone, and you're working like 12 hours and you're not taking your breaks and you're not asking for any days off, or you are constantly like working and going hours without food or time to go to the restroom, like that's very unhealthy. And I have sadly seen that in the industry, and it got to the point where it was like making me hate the industry I was in. And that was like, I knew that I didn't like feeling that way, because at the end of the day, like, I love being an esthetician, but for day-to-day life to become so stressful that I'm like, I swear my poor husband had to deal with my mood swings every time I got, in and out of bed. And you bring that home and you bring that to every aspect of your life, and then you're definitely not going to attract the right clientele. So it's just learning, I guess that kind of goes in hand with like your point about boundaries, is like not tolerating any toxicity in the workplace. And that might have to start in your personal life. You might have to learn how to do that in your personal life to then implement that in your professional life. But that is definitely key, because like we said, everything is energy, and your clients can tell that the energy is not right when you're in that stressful mindset.
So don't settle for a toxic work environment, because those days add up. And like I said, we're making our careers. Like you make yourself want to go to a job that you enjoy. Like you have that choice with aesthetics, and that's the beautiful thing about this industry, is you can have your cake and eat it too. And you can't do that with all the jobs. So
and I mean, especially with a job like this, I feel like we spend most of our time at, in your suite, at wherever your workplace is. It's basically a second home. I mean, I know we've all joked about like, let's just have a sleepover, like we all have our beds, like, so you're here all the time, and so you want it to be such a comforting environment to you as well, not just your client, but just like you want to feel comfortable with the people you work with, or even if you're just by yourself, you want to walk in and be like, this is my space. This is mine. I created this, and I could just hang out here on a day off if I wanted to, because I feel so comfortable being here. And so that is really going to make such a difference. And because like we've talked about, it's hard. It's hard to do what we do, but whenever you love where you work and you love the people you work with, it makes it a little bit easier. At least, it's helpful. It's helpful to have that support system.
I think just having fun and like not taking everything so seriously. And I feel like I have a little bit of a type A personality, where sometimes I get like super serious and I've got to do like all the things on the to-do list, and like that perfectionism starts to like come up, and then it just totally ruins it for me. But when you're just like having fun and you're just like make the most of what you have to do as an esthetician, and sometimes that is like making content or things that are a little bit like out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like, have fun with it and don't try to be perfect, because that's never gonna be achieved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in this industry, you cannot be attached to who you were before you came in.
Yeah.
Like you kind of morph into somebody different.
You have to change, and you have to grow, and you have to learn how to. You're wearing a lot of different hats, and with wearing so many different hats, like being your own receptionist, being your own manager, your own content creator, all of it, like, you have to get out of your comfort zone and just have a good time.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining our little powwow we had. I know I enjoyed it so much. I hope you were able to get some good advice, comfort, even whatever you needed from this video. I hope you received it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us, and bye.